Welcome to Coin Explorer. Today, we're diving into a story that may just leave you stunned. A story hidden in plain sight. A tale wrapped inside a coin so common, so unassuming, that most people would walk right past it. But here's the twist. This isn't just a coin. It's a relic, a conversation piece, and perhaps even a treasure. We're talking about the 1974 United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin. The humble penny that might be sitting in your drawer, your piggy bank, or at the bottom of your old jeans. But before you dismiss it as just another copper coin, stop. Listen closely. Because what hides beneath its worn surface is a story full of mystery, minting controversy, collector obsession, and yes, unbelievable value that could reach into the millions. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's uncover the secrets of a coin that changed the world of numismatics forever. A closer look at the 1974 penny. Let's begin with the basics. The 1974 Lincoln cent, part of a coin series first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse side, you'll see the sharp profile of Lincoln himself, facing right. His gaze is calm yet firm, and the word liberty stands to his left, with the date 1974 to the right. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a stately design introduced in 1959 and used until 2008. The design isn't just aesthetic. If you look closely between the pillars, you can even spot a tiny representation of Lincoln seated inside, just as he appears in the real memorial in Washington, D.C. Now, what about its physical structure? The 1974 penny was originally minted from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It has a rich, warm, reddish-brown tone when uncirculated, a tone that deepens with age. It weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. It's small, yes, but its legacy is anything but. The controversy. Here's where things take an unexpected turn. In the early 1970s, the cost of copper began to rise dramatically. The U.S. Mint, facing increasing expenses, began exploring alternative materials for the penny. Among the experimental trials was aluminum, lighter, cheaper, and easier to source. In 1974, over 1.5 million aluminum cents were struck in anticipation of a possible metal change. However, the shift was controversial. Pediatricians raised concerns about aluminum pennies not showing up on X-rays if swallowed by children. Law enforcement worried about counterfeiting risks. Congress was split, and by the end of the year, all but a few of the aluminum cents were ordered to be destroyed. Only a handful escaped destruction, and these experimental aluminum 1974 pennies became the stuff of legend. But here's the twist. Even among the standard copper 1974 cents, certain variations, minting errors, and exceptionally well-preserved examples have been found to carry eye-watering value. We're talking 5 figures, even 6 figures, and in rare reported cases, valuations climbing into the millions. Rare variants and strike anomalies. Now let's dive into what makes a standard penny suddenly transform into a collector's dream. Among 1,974 pennies, there are several rare varieties and die anomalies that can increase the coin's value exponentially. Double die obverse. DDO. Look closely at the inscriptions. In God We Trust and Liberty. Some 1974 cents show doubling in these letters. These aren't design choices. They're minting mistakes, and collectors go wild for them. Off-center strikes. A few 1974 pennies were struck improperly, leaving Lincoln's face awkwardly to the side or the memorial partially cut off. These coins are rare and highly desirable. High-grade condition. Some coins escape the wear and tear of circulation and remain in almost perfect condition. If a 1974 penny is graded MS 68 or higher, you might be holding a fortune in your palm. One of the most sought after is the 1974 S-proof penny, minted in San Francisco. These were struck with special dies on polished blanks and show a mirror-like finish. If it has an error, such as a die crack or strike through, its value skyrockets even more. Stories that shocked the community. Let me tell you about one jaw-dropping story. In 2011, a young collector in Pennsylvania was helping his grandfather clean out an attic. In an old cookie tin filled with coins, he found a handful of shiny pennies, including one that stood out. It was a 1974 D. Lincoln cent, but something about the surface felt different. Curious, he sent the coin for professional grading. The result? The coin was uncirculated, with a double die obverse, and graded MS 67 red. It was later auctioned off for over $100,000. That's right. A coin the size of a thumbnail ended up funding a house down payment. Another case surfaced in Texas, where a dealer came across a near-perfect 1974 S-proof coin with an unusual mirrored surface and minor strike-through error. Estimated value? Somewhere in the high six figures. These aren't just rumors. They're part of the ever-growing database of numismatic surprises. Surprises that happen every single year. Why the value can be in millions. You might be asking, how can a penny, minted in the millions, be worth millions of dollars? Here's the secret. Rarity meets condition meets story. It's not enough for a coin to be old. It must also be rare, in mintage or error. It must be in exceptional condition. And ideally, it has a story that adds emotional weight. The 1974 cent checks all those boxes, especially in rare cases like aluminum strikes, off-metal errors, and pristine proof specimens. Collectors and institutions are willing to pay enormous amounts to secure such treasures. Why? Because these coins are irreplaceable time capsules. They symbolize turning points in history, experimental decisions by the U.S. Mint, and the unfolding drama of American economics. The numismatic community. You might think, why would someone pay a fortune for a 1-cent coin? But ask any seasoned numismatist, and you'll hear the same answer. Because it's a piece of time. The 1974 penny is not just about its metallic content. It's a story of America in the 70s, the economic stress, the metal crisis, the technological evolution in minting, and the public discourse around value. Every scratch, shine, and strike flaw becomes part of that coin's identity. And for collectors, that's priceless. The coin community is tight-knit, passionate, and incredibly dedicated. Online forums are full of discussions, microscope images, comparison videos, and appraisal requests. The 1974 penny is always among the hottest topics. Do you have one? Now comes the million-dollar question. Could you have one of these valuable 1974 pennies? Here's what to do. 1. Look for the date. Make sure it's from 1974. Check for any mint marks. No mark means Philadelphia, D is Denver, and S is San Francisco. 2. Check for errors. Use a magnifying glass to spot doubling in text or any design flaws. Look at Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the edges. 3. Weigh the coin. The standard 1974 penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly less, it could be one of the experimental aluminum cents. 4. Preserve it. Don't clean it. That can ruin its value. Store it safely and contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. You might be sitting on a penny worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or, in very rare cases, millions. So the next time you find yourself holding a 1974 penny, don't toss it aside. Don't overlook it. Because what seems like pocket change might actually be life-changing. Coins are more than currency. They're keys to the past, snapshots of history, and sometimes vessels of hidden fortune. Thanks for watching, Coin Explorers. If you found this story inspiring or surprising, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow collectors. Who knows? You might be the next person to uncover a treasure in your coin jar. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth more than gold.